Gentlemen, you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. The January 15th, 2025 regular meeting of the Planning Commission will come to order at 6:31 p.m. Please rise and follow Commissioner Saikali in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Face the flag, hand over your heart. Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May I have our Planning Commission Secretary, Ria, please call roll.
Commissioner Lujan?
Present.
Commissioner Sakali?
Here.
Commissioner Morales?
Present.
Vice Chair Guerra?
Here.
And Chair Uva?
Present. Now is the time set aside for oral communications from the Planning Commission. Does any commissioner wish to make an announcement, report on a conference, a meeting, or request items for a future agenda? Commissioner Morales.
Not for me, Chairman.
Great. Commissioner, Vice Chair Guerra.
I just asked our community development director how they're for agenda for the rest of the year kind of thing, or what meetings on there. So she says he was going to be getting that for others. So that's a great thing. So I appreciate it. And secondly, on there, when are we going to vote on minutes or approved minutes? We haven't had any since March of 2024. So I just wanted to bring that up again.
I was going to provide my director comments. Do you want me to provide them an update now on both items?
Sure, if you want to.
So I was mentioning to Vice Chair Guerra that we're putting together a forecast for 2025 for some of the annual Planning Commission items, and also just projecting out entitlements that we have in the pipeline, and there'll be tentative dates. And then I know a lot of you travel for work or have other commitments related to life and work, so we'll share that as a tentative forecast in the coming weeks. I should have it ready in the next week and a half or so. And then as far as the minutes, that is quite an extensive work effort. Our planning team is making the final touches on the minutes, and we were almost ready to have them on tonight's meeting, but we wanted to check with a couple of you on some of the items that we may transmit via email just to double check accuracy of some items, but we do plan to have them at the next Planning Commission meeting, and we'll probably break them up into over the two next Planning Commission meetings. But you will have those, and we also likely will send you the minutes in advance in advance of the packet, just because you'll need a little bit extra time to review. Thank you, Vice Chair, and I thank the Commission for your patience. I think we're adjusting to our staff transitions that we've gone through over the last year, and just the new procedures of the Planning Commission and formalizing a lot of our procedures. So we thank you for your patience, and we will bring those to you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Commissioner Lujan, any items to report on?
Not for me.
Okay. Commissioner Saikali?
I have none.
Okay, and I have none. Presentations tonight, we don't have any. Does the Community Development Director have a report on City Council action or any other general updates?
I do. I'm very pleased to report that at last night's City Council meeting, we had a major item that this Planning Commission made a recommendation on, which is the Housing Implementation Program, which is a very grand program comprised of rezoning and developing objective design standards. As you may recall, the Planning Commission recommended to the City Council approval of staff's recommendation, and last night the City Council concurred with that recommendation, and they introduced two ordinances related to the housing element implementation, and they also adopted a resolution to adopt the objective design standards. All that information is posted on our housing implementation website. We're very pleased. It's a very grand work effort that we have undertaken over the last couple years, and I think more so even these last few months. And I commend Alfonso Hernandez, our principal planner, our senior planner, Abraham Luna, again, Jerry Clemente, Marissa Montero, and there's a very big team behind them as well. Between city employees and consultants, it has been all hands on deck when it comes to housing element. And then we're also embarking or continuing our work with the citywide general plan update. So we will now be focusing a little bit more time and efforts related to educational outreach with members of the public, community meetings about what a general plan does for a city, what are the components of a general plan. And actually tomorrow we have a city technical working meeting, which is comprised of all departments and several divisions within departments getting together and having a kickoff meeting related to what the work that we will undertake in order to update the city's general plan. And as you know, there's several elements: traffic, circulation, open space, it goes on. And so we'll be focusing on all of that with the technical working group over about 8 meetings over the next few months, in addition to having educational outreach with the public. And then related to the general plan update, we also have, which also spins off to the city council item because it's all related to the general plan. We also have other work related to historic preservation planning. As part of the general plan update, we have a specialized consultant that is working with city staff to develop historic context statements, and we've engaged with the Downey Conservancy. We met with them yesterday, Alfonso and myself, and our consultant assigned to that. So again, there's a lot of work effort being done behind the scenes, in addition to the entitlements that come to you and other entitlements that we have in the pipeline. And then I'll end with saying that the December, January of the department's community development updates will be published by next week. We have a combined, because of the holidays, we decided to combine instead of a monthly update, we're having a December, January update. So look for that in your inbox for updates on several projects in the pipeline, along with some very good photos of staff and staff's efforts on that. Thank you.
Okay, great. I was in the audience last night for the council meeting, and it was a great feeling to see those 2 things get approved, unanimously approved, knowing that we all had worked on it as well. So it was a good feeling. And we really appreciate those updates that you do, the email, the images of the different projects and where they're at. We as a planning commission and our residents really appreciate that. So I know that's a lot of hard work too, and I really appreciate that. Now is the time set aside for a public hearing. PLN 224-00177 for a conditional use permit. Does the Planning Commission Secretary Ria have proof of publication?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Will the Community Development Director introduce the staff making the presentation?
Yes, tonight we'll have our Assistant Planner, Marissa Montero, providing the presentation. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I don't think it makes a difference, but you said 224. It's just,
Did I say it wrong?
It's just 24, but not 224.
Oh, that's
I don't think it makes a difference, but
Oh, okay.
I saw it
You're
on
right.
the screen when it came by.
You're absolutely right. On our agenda, it's 24, but on my little thing here, it says 224. So let me correct that for the record. It's PLN 24-00177.
Good evening, Chair Uva, Vice Chair Guerra, commissioners, and members of the audience. Today, my name is Marissa Montero, and I will be presenting PLN 24-00177. The item before you is, again, case number PLN-24-00177, a request for a conditional use permit to allow the operation of an arcade in a 4,472 square foot tenant space within the Stonewood Center. The business name is Kauai Claus, and we have the applicant here this evening, and his name is Joe Wang. The subject site is located at 251 Stonewood Street, tenant space G33, addressed as 444 Stonewood Street. The Stonewood Center is located north of Firestone Boulevard between Lakewood Boulevard and Woodruff Avenue. The tenant space is located in the northeast portion of the Stonewood Center. This slide shows an aerial image of the Stonewood Center with the subject tenant space outlined in red. The applicant proposes to occupy 4,472 square foot tenant space within the Stonewood Center, which is a regional indoor shopping mall that is developed on approximately 63 acres with 112 tenant spaces and an additional retail kiosks throughout the mall. The previous use for this tenant space was retail. The subject property is zoned Stonewood Specific Plan, shown on the zoning map as SP 89-1. The surrounding uses include single-family residential to the north, single-family residential and multiple family residential to the east, a Toyota dealership to the south across Firestone Boulevard, and commercial uses to the west across Lakewood Boulevard. The general plan land use designation is general commercial, with general commercial to the south, office to the west, low-density residential to the north and east, and medium-density residential to the east. As previously mentioned, the tenant space is 4,472 square feet, and we'll have a total of 63 machines, which will be shown on the next slide. The arcade's proposed hours of operation will align with the Stonewood Centers, which are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. The applicant anticipates up to 50 guests will visit the arcade during peak times, and the arcade will be staffed based on demand with 1 to 3 staff members per shift. In total, the arcade will employ 1 full-time manager and approximately 10 part-time arcade assistants. Employees will provide customer service at the front counter, assist guests with game machines, and handle prize redemptions. The proposed use requires 23 parking spaces, which is the same as the previously permitted use. Therefore, the parking spaces currently on site satisfy the parking requirement for the proposed use. This slide shows the floor plan with icons to highlight some aspects of the floor plan. A, you can see the entrance from the mall. B shows the counter for prize redemption. C is a decorative feature. D shows the existing storage area. And E is an employee bathroom. Also to the bottom of the screen, you can see the proposed machines, which there will be 63 in total, and includes 55 claw machines, 1 token exchange machine, and 7 other skill-based machines. For additional context, we've included images of the existing tenant space and the interior of another Kauai Claws location. A public notice was issued for this item on January 2nd, 2025. The notice of the pending public hearing before the Planning Commission was published in the Downey Patriot and mailed to all tenants and property owners within 500 feet of the subject site. As of the date that this report was published, staff has received no correspondence in response to the public hearing notice. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt resolution number 24-4044, approving a conditional use permit to allow the operation of an arcade at tenant space G33 on property located at 251 Stonewood Street. This concludes my presentation. I am available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Marissa. Do any of the commissioners have questions of Marissa? Commissioner?
No.
No? Going this way, Vice Chair?
Do we, and this is fine on there, is that not allowed there now? I mean, why are we doing a conditional use permit? I mean, seems such a okay type of thing.
Yeah, so the specific plan states arcades as an allowed use, but is subject to a CUP. So that's why we have the item here tonight.
Thanks.
And just to clarify a little bit further on that question, a few years ago, I'm not sure we have exact year, there was a clarification made by action of the Planning Commission that the use would be subject to a CUP, which is what staff is using as authorization to apply for the CUP tonight.
Okay.
I have a question, Ms. Montero.
Yes.
Sorry about that. You mentioned there will be 63 machines in that space. Can you tell me how many of those machines will produce air as it vents out so it doesn't get hot? Or are they they don't produce anything?
That might be a question for the applicant, maybe?
Kind of.
Maybe that, I don't know, Marissa, you might not be able to answer that. The applicant probably could answer that.
Yeah, I don't have that information, but I'll default
Okay.
that
So
question
hold
to
that
the
thought.
applicant.
Sure.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Well, I'll wait for the.
Okay. Commissioner Lujan?
I don't have any questions, no.
Okay, great. And I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say you did a great job for your first presentation.
Thank you.
Good job.
We're not as scary as we were.
Yeah, definitely.
Before I open the public hearing and call the applicant or their representative, this would be the time for the planning commissioners to disclose any pre-hearing site visits, pre-hearing discussions that the commissioners may have had about this project. Vice Chair Guerra. Commissioner Lujan.
None.
Commissioner Saikali.
None.
Commissioner Morales.
None for me.
And none for me. The public hearing is now open. Will the applicant or the representative please come forward to give testimony?
Good evening, Planning Commission and City staff. Thank you for this opportunity for letting me speak with you today. My name is Joe. I am the owner of Kawaii Claws. Kawaii Claws is a claw machine arcade concept that blends the excitement of arcade gaming with the charm of Japanese-inspired aesthetics. Our arcade features colorful, meticulously curated machines that are filled with unique and high-quality prizes ranging from plush toys to collectibles that resonates with customers of all ages. Our primary audience includes families, teenagers, and young adults who are drawn to immersive and playful experiences. In addition, we also have a growing fan base among Japanese pop culture, as well as those seeking wholesome, nostalgia-driven activities. We've chosen to bring Kawaii Claws to Downey because we believe this community embodies the vibrant, diverse, and family-oriented spirit that aligns perfectly with our brand. Located at the heart of Southern California, Downey is a city that celebrates culture, creativity, and connection, values we held dearly at Kawaii Claws. By opening Kawaii Claws at Downey, we aim to contribute to the local economy by creating jobs and providing a safe and inclusive space where people can come for entertainment. Our hours will align with those of the Stonewood Center, ensuring we are a positive, well-integrated part of this community's daily rhythm. We are excited to be a part of Downey's business landscape and are confident that Kawaii Claws will be a valuable addition to this city's entertainment offerings. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, great, thank you. Commissioner Morales, any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Wang? Is it
Yes.
Joe Wang?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a common name for myself and the Commissioner Sakali. Does it ring a bell, Commissioner? Joe Wang? Anyways, where's the nearest facility you have to Downey?
I want to say Buena Park,
Buena Park? Mm-hmm. You know, how big is that location?
2,500 square feet.
Okay, so it'll be a little bit bigger here.
It's bigger here, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. That's all I have.
Commissioner Saikali, go ahead.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Mr. Wang, ironically, my ex-boss in the city of Linwood was Joe Wang. He was the director of public works at the time. Ironic, because you know that Joe Wang. Mr. Wang, can you tell me how many of these machines that you have out of 63 that would ventilate? Kind of like when you have a copier machine, you know, it ventilates out. How many of those do you have in there that would ventilate?
I believe none.
None?
None.
Oh, wonderful.
They're all run on LED. Each machine takes about 1.2 amps to run. So a 20 amp breaker will power like 15 machines easily.
Okay. So with that, you'll have approximately 50 guests at a maximum? Is that an estimate? I'm assuming a good...
It's estimated, yes.
Okay. Was there any review on your part to make sure when you have 50 plus guests, your ventilation system is adequate enough to maintain a healthy environment?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that. But we do have a HVAC. That's the company that the mall recommended. That's working with the HVAC and the ventilation.
Okay, so you know, my question is, if you have, let's say, 10 people, you have your AC on, it's fine, but you have 50 people, slightly different. So is that going to be, is your ventilation system adequate?
Yes.
In other words, is your AC has enough ventilation to exhaust all the air that's coming from the people's breathing and refreshing the air and
Commissioners-
circulating the air?
Commissioner Stockley, if I may, and we may not be able to have the exact answer for you, but I do know that ventilation is part of the building code, and
Yes.
through the permits received for that building, I'm sure it does meet the appropriate ventilation.
So I'm assuming he has met the plumbing code, and also he has met the Title 24 code.
Yes, so they're not proposing any changes to them. So when the property was built or there was a tenant improvement made to it, they'd have to meet those codes for that and the occupancy for it as well.
So we wouldn't know until when?
I believe they're not changing the occupancy for it. Before it was retail, it's still the same amount of occupancy there. So they wouldn't have to make any modifications. When it was built, they met the building codes for those types of things.
Okay, so now you're doing some kind of a modification, you're increasing the footprint in that specific area. So is there any need to upgrade any HVAC system to maintain healthy ventilation?
Not for the work that they're doing.
Okay, I think our Community Development Director wants to comment.
Yes, I'd like to elaborate a little bit more on what Alfonso is pointing out. So when a tenant space is used for retail and another tenant space that's similar in use occupies, that doesn't automatically trigger any types of building permits unless and inspections and bringing a building up to code, unless the applicant is proposing modifications to the tenant space or is changing the occupancy, meaning it was previously a retail store, which is, I'm not describing something proposed now, and then they're proposing to do like a kids child care center or something like that. That would be a different type of classification. In this case, I do want to point out that as part of the business license process, both the building division and the fire prevention unit, as part of the business license process, do inspect the tenant space to identify if there's any deficiencies that need to be addressed. If there's any modifications that have been done without permits, for example, we don't expect that to be the case here, but safety is one of the reasons why we have those inspections as part of the business license. In addition, what's before the Planning Commission tonight is related to the land use classification. Typically, a tenant space meeting a building code or a plumbing code is a condition of approval that the Planning Commission, through the resolution, does have the authority to place, which is included in tonight's Planning Commission packet, the condition of approval that any modifications that are made or that are required as part of this tenant occupying the space be required to meet the current code. So if that were to be in the case through this process, that when the applicant undergoes the inspection, or if they decide to make any changes in the future or now, will be required to implement those conditions.
And one last question. And if that's the case, then I'm assuming he has met the maximum occupancy?
The maximum occupancy is part of the classification of the tenant space. It's not necessarily under that's the staff and the Planning Commission, although it's related, it's not under the tonight's consideration of the Planning Commission. Again, the Planning Commission is looking at, is an arcade use appropriate in this zone? Is it allowed? In this case, it's subject to a CUP. Are there conditions in place that we need to implement in order for this use to be compatible? To ensure that the tenant space is compliant with municipal code and the city's requirement, occupancy is part of already an existing classification for the space. Because the tenant is not proposing to change it for anything different than retail type service, then they are not automatically required to undergo a review for maximum occupancy. However, if that, through the inspection with fire prevention, if we see that there's something that needs to be addressed, for example, there's an exit that has been modified and we know it's been modified, then we would make sure that that is addressed for safety reasons, of course.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Just to further elaborate, Madam Chair, through our Community Development Director, conditions 13 and 14 pretty much cover the requisite codes and occupancy factors for the use.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you for that. Commissioner Lujan, do you have questions?
No, I just want to say,
Michael, yes.
just want to say thank you, Mr. Wang, for coming to Downey and choosing Stonewood Center. Hopefully this will bring some families back into that Stonewood Center area and revive it up. Okay, so thank you, and we want you to wish you best of luck with that too.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Vice Chair?
Yes, I see you have 10 other ones on there. Which one's your largest? I mean, it looks like,
Our largest location is Westminster Mall. That one's about 7,000 square feet.
oh, wow. Okay, good. Okay, and you have some 2,500 and so forth. Are you doing any family-orientated things there? And, you know, I don't know, birthday party kind of things or anything like that?
We host like to get the community involved. We host a lot of like for Halloween we do like a costume contest, and Thanksgiving we do a turkey drawing contest. Christmas we do like make a wish for all our customers. They put like a little ornament on our Christmas tree, and then we choose the winners at the end of the month.
Great, good. Well, it seems like a good design. We wish you the best there, especially at Stonewood. You know, when you get an opportunity, you might want to look at the Chamber of Commerce, where they'll do a ribbon cutting with you.
Okay.
And help you out and everything else on there. But thank you. Appreciate it. It looks like a great thing, and you obviously have experience. How many years have you had these here? So I think you have 10. How many? What was the first one?
West Covina. It was last August.
Okay. Oh, so it's been in the last
It's
year? You've
a
opened
year,
up 10?
yeah, a little over a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay.
My comments are pretty simple. Your opening statement was really nice. You gave the feeling that you researched Downey, that you know about Downey. The words that you said are so true to our city. So I thank you for doing that. And just like the other commissioners, thank you for bringing your business to Downey. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck for this new business. And gosh, that's amazing that you just only been doing this for a year and you're opening up so many stores. That's wonderful. It shows that you're successful.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All righty, thank you.
Madam Chair, if I may have one
Sure,
more last
absolutely.
question, if I can.
And brave,
Looking at-
yes.
Looking at your floor plan, as the Commissioner or Vice Chairman Garrett mentioned about the potential for parties and what have you, your storage area, what are you going to store? Because that's
Prizes. Our prizes.
Prizes?
Yeah.
Because that could be an area where you can actually accommodate for room for parties and what have you, but I'll leave it up to you. But that's,
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll look into it.
Okay, great. May staff confirm if there has been any correspondence in favor or in opposition?
No correspondence.
Now's the time we call the public up to speak in favor or in opposition of the public. There is nobody in the audience, I understand, that wants to take a card, so we won't be having anybody coming up. The public hearing is now closed. You may sit down, sir. Thank you. Now's the time for the planning commissioners to deliberate. Anybody want to make a motion? Does anybody have any further comments?
I'll make a motion that we approve PLN 24, et cetera, et cetera.
I'll second it.
Okay, great. It has been moved and seconded to approve PLN 24-00177, conditional use permit. May I have the Planning Commission Secretary, Rhea, have a vote?
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. May I remind the applicant that the action of the Planning Commission will be final unless the matter is appealed to the City Council within pay the appropriate fee within the next 15-day period as set forth in our city's municipal code. Congratulations, sir.
Good luck.
Welcome to Downey. Good luck.
Non-agenda public comment, we have no one here, so we're going to skip to the next item. Consent calendar, we have none. Other business. Now is the time set aside for the election of officers for the Planning Commission Chair. Is there a nomination and a second?
Well, first of all, Madam Chair, if I may, congratulations for 1 year of chairing the commission. Did a great job.
Thank you.
Following the script, keeping us in place, keeping us in order.
Yes.
It was a quick year. Seemed like.
Seemed like it, yeah.
And it seems like we did have a lot of missed meetings, right, because of lack of business, but nonetheless, it was a quick year. And again,
Thank you for that, and I appreciate that. I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. I enjoy working with you gentlemen. You've been very easy to work with. Our planning commission staff, our city attorney, everyone has just been really great to work for. You guys are all really hard-working people, dedicated employees to our city, and it really shows. So I thank you for that. All right, I would like to nominate our Vice Chair, Guerra, to be the chair. Would anybody like to second that?
Second.
Second.
Great. May we have a vote?
There's voted for myself.
Motion passes 5-0.
I didn't know whether to abstain or not. I was like, okay.
Okay, great. Congratulations. Yay.
Well, thank you, folks. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Look forward to working with everyone.
Okay, great. Now we need to nominate a election for our vice chair. Would someone like to make a nomination and
Yeah, I'd
have a
like to
second?
nominate Mr. Morales.
I'll second it.
Okay.
I was going to say, I've been a commissioner, or chairman, and vice chairman many times before. I'm going to give someone else an opportunity. I was thinking maybe yourself, Commissioner Scott, since you haven't been either one. Myself, I've been a chairman, so has Ms. Lujan, so we've been through that process already.
I'm kind of a little bit fresh into this, so I want to ease into it. It's up to you.
It wasn't that hard. As vice chair, I held her gavel a couple of times.
Okay, I'll accept it.
Okay, and it was seconded, correct?
Yeah,
You seconded
I
it. Okay, that's correct. So Rhea, may we have a vote?
I'll abstain.
Oh, you're abstaining. Oh, okay.
Motion
you.
passes with a vote of 4-1.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Does the Community Development Director have any comments?
I provided various comments earlier today commending staff, and I just want to reiterate that. I think we have an amazing team in the planning division and overall in the community development department. We've been through a lot of transitions over staff and just changes overall. I was a new community development director for the last year and a half ago. I think I've had quite a bit of time now to onboard, and so I think we're kind of getting our groove, especially having completed the housing element implementation zoning. So I look forward to working with Chair Guerra and Vice Chair Morales in the coming year. It's really equally easy to work with each one of you, and we appreciate your communication, especially with Rhea on quorum confirmation and on your travel plans and all that. And I think one thing we'll strive for in 2025 is to be more timely with our minutes, to be more predictable as much as we can with the agenda forecast, so that you can plan your volunteer work with the Planning Commission and balance our lives, because I know that's very hard and important, and we value the time that you put into the city of Downey. On a personal level, I do want to thank the commission and a couple of you that I've shared. My dad had a very major surgery a couple of months ago, and I thank you for your prayers. He's in full recovery. He started driving about 5 days ago, so thank you to you for your support, for your prayers, and for staff as well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right, then it is 7:05. We are adjourned, and I will do that one last time.
All right.